Good evening, welcome back to In the Khud. This is 7th October 2022, 8:33 p.m. I'd say quite an eventful day today. Woke up at 8:30. The 5:30, 6 o'clock alarms went, but at the back of the mind I had this thing that, oh, it's a holiday today. Thomas just crept in and I slept for a couple more hours, then it took Snowy down after that. Then of course by the time I could get to my desk it was 10:30, so just had to start things off. To start off, yesterday's video wasn't edited. Like I was supposed to come back home yesterday after my workout. Recording kar raha hu. So yesterday after my body pump class I was supposed to come back, edit that video and upload it, but I just end up watching quite a few many episodes of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. That's what I'm hooked to lately. Today morning I was supposed to edit and upload it. I did that, but what I wanted to do is start investing a little bit of time in making the In the Khud edit a little more efficient, a little more automated through AutoHotkey. I spent a lot of time trying to understand Terran's Premiere Pro functions and things, so I don't know if I can show you progress here, but quite a few concepts that I understood in this software today. But basically if I go through this preset item function here briefly, what this is doing is it's waiting the key waiting. Coordinate mode, this is just setting up coordinates. Set key delay. Send input, Control Shift K is the Premiere shortcut for shuttle stop in case your video is playing and then you're pressing that button too, which I won't do, but that's what it is. We get the X and Y position of the mouse. We bring the timeline in focus. We bring the effects panel in focus. These are all custom shortcuts I've built. Then you say set select box by Control B. That's also a custom shortcut. Then you move the mouse to the A caret. Actually, let me just open here yesterday's video which I actually edited today. Now I'm over here, okay, and I want to somehow go till here and do that. So if I press Control plus G1, oh god, this ain't working. This is not working. Control plus G1, that's what it was, right? F13 block input, Control G1. I think preset has a few things I've added to it. Effects control, preset item. It should just control. Okay, I'm gonna come in here and then Control G1, yes. And now a few things have happened here, but basically it's gone to the effects panel, it's typed that down, and apparently the cursor was supposed to end up here, then we're supposed to drag it and bring it there, but then I realized that firstly I have to go to the source and then do it, so then I spent a lot of time making that. Basically, to sum it up, there is nothing concrete that I can give in this documentation except for the fact that I understood a few things, but then I hit a ceiling, and then I stopped. As per plan, I was supposed to get back to Dad's work, but I did not do any of Dad's work today because I thought I'll try spending a little bit of time figuring out the Magnum ice cream bar and the nuts on top of it. I was very dejected up until like 6:30, but then Eureka, and I figured it out. So I will quickly show you what that is. Now, if you see this Magnum here, I have made custom brushes, and with those brushes let's go into sculpting mode. So I have this reference in the background. I'm just gonna shut the reference for a while. Now, two things you have to do in this thing. Firstly, you have to add from your modifier stack a multi-res modifier and bring it way up. And if you enable statistics, you will see it's not statistics is enabled, but I think you have to be in object mode. Yeah, you have to have faces which are like 1,000,000 or something, a lot of, but instead of subdividing it so many times, which is obviously not recommended, you wanna use the modifier because then it's easier to navigate the viewport. There's a lot of noise coming from outside, please bear with me. What I will show you is if you're in a sculpt mode, there are two things here. There is the draw brush here, okay, and then there is the texture here. So if I have made 5 brushes. If I select the first brush, this is how it looks, and if I bring it up, this is what it's making. I have the second brush. Should I be doing it on this? This is my, this is one I was experimenting with the first brush. This is what it's doing. Oh, I have to be in that object. So sculpt mode. I think over here there is an option for fast navigate. I don't know why this looks like this. This makes this. Third one makes a proper almond, like an almond. Fourth one makes a different sort of almond. This is something I actually took from the reference itself. You can see the Magnum reference. and the 5th brush does this. So if I have to quickly show you the method of how you get here, the biggest key thing, like everyone shows the process of how to do it, but the biggest key thing that I was missing out on, which was the matter of frustration, is this little thing here. Why is this? Okay, let's just deal with it. Fall off, you have to select constant, and only Zach from CG Boost, oh my god, I love CG Boost and Zach so much. In his tutorial on how to get furs on using this method, he explains about the fall off thing. So fall off by default is at smooth, and what I was trying to do is this all the time, and I was like, why is this looking this way? Like for example, if I take the first brush and do it, okay, it's no, with the brush the fall off goes back to what it was. So if it's smooth, like this was with constant, okay, this almond thing, look at what's happening here with smooth. I mean, maybe you can adjust the smoothness of the fall off. No, but yeah, basically with smooth you get this, and with a fall off of constant, that's when you get that exact shape that you want. And obviously you can come in here and smoothened up using shift for whichever brush you're having. But yeah, this is the only thing that had to be figured. Now briefly going over the process, thanks to Grant Abbott and his tutorial, I figured this free software called Materialize. You have to import your image which has that texture, so I made separate PNG images inside Photoshop for all the nuts and all the things that I could find, like references from the internet. I took them out and made them into single PNGs. Then you bring that into your diffuse map. Yeah, you bring it into your diffuse map. So I'll just show one. So let's say I open one. Let's take the latest one. So this one, I'll bring this here. It's kind of stretched, we don't use this. And then clear this. Over here you want to create the height map, and that basically does your height map thing. One additional thing I did is, because you see there are blacks and whites in here, so I brought those BMPs into Photoshop, and then I made the entirety of the thing inside white and everything outside black, and there should be a blur here, which is what gives that perfect texture. One important thing to note is your image size should be square. So if it is not square, you will have some sort of weird things happening over here. So make it like 1K, 2K, 4K, whatever, but it should be square. The canvas should be square when you're exporting the PNG. Then the process is very simple. Let me just make one brush for you and show. You want to click here and say, let's just call this almond brush 6. Okay, you want to come into texture and let's just remove this, make a new texture, press this button that takes you down here to the texture tab, and open. And let me just find one of the brushes, let's say the 4th one. So because it's square, this is how it looks. Now you go back to your brush settings and you will see that that particular thing has come here. You have to make sure that the mapping is at area plane and stroke method is at anchored. I was doing both these two things, but fall off, this is something that I was missing out on, and voila. So this, I would say, was the biggest improvement, the biggest figured out thing for the day. And I'm really glad that I could, because now I have one more problem, and this is what I was thinking about, is in 3D there are so many different aspects which work together to make one thing work. Modeling, and then sculpting, and then now it's going to be geometry nodes that I have to worry about. The reason for that is, if I go into the rendered view here, if I apply that chocolate material, okay, because the multi-res modifier, it's taking forever for me to navigate. So one more thing that I have to add here is I have to somehow retopologize this thing so that it doesn't have so many vertices on it once obviously the sculpting is done. Why is this moving like this? Okay, I have to figure out one thing, which is what I was trying to do just before recording this. Using geometry nodes, I want to add, what I have done is I've added a plane here, right? All of the mesh of this particular object which is above this plane, I want to somehow separate that geometry, and that geometry will be having a different material. See, the chocolate here has a different material, and this here has kind of like a gradient of yellow, and it's basically a different material. So to speak, on the normals of this mesh, okay, I'm getting ideas while I'm documenting. Along the normals of this mesh, I want to have whichever is like above a certain distance using proximity or something. I'm just very new to geometry nodes, so I'm trying to figure things out. But the mesh above this normal part has to be separated somehow so that I can apply a separate material to it inside geometry nodes. That is up for figuring out for tomorrow and day after, but I think we are kinda on track to actually implement this project. I mean, this has started off as a nice little chocolate simulation, fun thing to do, but we hit a wall here with the sculpting part, and lo and behold, I'm learning a lot. Regardless, I have to get back to dad's work tomorrow morning, and I will make sure that I do that. But today I just got sucked into the rabbit hole, and why wouldn't you? It's just so much fun figuring things out in Blender. That's it for today's documentation. Thank you so much for being in the khud. I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.